Alright guys, we is back to messing with our, however you want to pronounce this. Some say Husqvarna, some say Husqvarna, and so it's kind of like tomato. Pronounce it however you wish, I guess. I don't know. I always have people busting me for, cracking on me for how they're pronounced, but it's the way I've always heard it, Husqvarna. If that's correct, it's correct. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, this is I've done a video on this a while back. It's a 128 LD we was having carburetor problems with, and this thing has been adjusted multiple times. And this one's actually been sitting. I haven't used, well no, we used it once. We went to use it once this year. It was having issues with the carburetor. And it's like no matter how much you adjust it, it's never happy. And it's one season when it was brand new, it worked really well. And well, it's the majority of the season. Towards the end of the season, it started acting up. And then, but we've adjusted the carburetor quite a few times since then. And so what I did was got online, found some forums of people that's messed with them a lot more than I have, and they was saying that a lot of this model of Husqvarna was had issues straight from the factory carburetor wise. So I went to get the carb off, take a look, and they said in their opinion best thing you can do is replace it. So they went as far as people taking them back to the stores they got them from, which this one was purchased from Lowe's, and they are not cheap when you buy them brand new. And but they've taken them back to the stores, swapping them out, and get it home, and they end up with the same issue. So I want to try to avoid that, and we'll take a peek, see what we come up with here. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but it's a pretty basic setup. Get it over here and turn it, maybe you guys can see it a little better. So all you have is your cap for your air filter and your plastic cover. It's got the two nuts. Just take this off, the two nuts, that comes off. Just don't do it like me. I have a bad problem losing stuff like that. So now we have access to our carburetor, which should hopefully pop loose. I don't see anything else holding it. So you got your two lines. This is where I tell everybody, if you're not familiar with your line setup, if I can get you in there where you can see it, try to get a little bit better video of it. But you can see there's your primer. So coming off your primer line, it should be your return, and your main fuel line should be underneath it. See if we can get it to, hopefully get them to pop loose. I mean, this thing's really not that old as far as trimmers are concerned. I mean, worst we have to do is put a set of lines on it. If so, no big deal. Yeah, 'cause I don't think they're coming loose. It's kind of hard to see down in there. There we go. Main fuel line's coming loose. There's so many other better ways to do this, but I'm trying to make it quick so I don't drag it out on you guys. Quick as I possibly can anyway. Alright, here's our main fuel line. Let's try a little bit of, get the pressure out of it. Shouldn't have had any fuel in it. I just persuade it a little more. There we go, it's coming loose. Okay, that takes care of our fuel lines. So the only thing left should be our throttle linkage there. Let's see if we can get our carb to pop loose. There we go. Twist and turn and twist and turn. So there we go. Here's our carb. Gasket's still good. Well, at least till I pull it off anyway. Yeah, not bad. still good and pliable, so it takes care of that. Anyway, so what I'm wanting to do is pop the top, make sure there's no issues with the screen, and we'll take a look at the diaphragm. So let me get a screwdriver here and we'll start ripping her apart and see what we got. And be nice if it's something simple. This trimmer is actually really not that old. I mean, if you break it down into seasons when you use it, this thing is from 2019, so it didn't really get used a whole heck of a lot. This one was, kids used it around the neighborhood, and we used it around the house. But what got used the most was those two from those Hyper Tough trimmers from, we got a good deal on from Walmart, you know, that we got on clearance. That's what was mainly used. Oh, hey, that could be an issue. Look at that. Is that picking that up? Let's see if I can get that out of there. There's one big problem. Now, how in the world, yeah, I wonder if it has a, I'd hate to think it came from the factory with no fuel filter on it. But I'll show you that here real quick in a second. Well, in a second. Longer pair. There's much stuff that is in that. I don't know how in the world. Well, the line broke. That explains a little bit. So that thing is, look at that. It's breaking to pieces. Well, we narrowed down one problem. Well, two problems. I don't think there's a fuel filter in this thing. Unless it's... Yeah. Well, maybe. There it is. No, there's not. Okay, so... that explains one problem. So, it looks like we got it with no fuel filter in it, brand new from Lowe's. Now, hey, so that could be a problem, huh? So here's the other issue. This thing is packed full of crap. I can't tell if that's picking it up on video. I got like crappy lighting down here. Let's see if I can get that. Look, there's something right there. Has that hole blocked. Looks like a freaking seed. Well, without a fuel filter on it, it explains some. So this, wow, this thing is packed. Well, that explains a lot. I mean, it is, you can see all the stuff coming out of my hand. That thing is packed. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, it's the majority of it. So I'll show you what was in it. Look at all that stuff. So this up here, all this back here, and then, hey Rocket, what are you doing, buddy? Whatever in the world that is, this looks like a little seed. Oop. Right there. That was in it as well. Well, that explains a lot. So, what I'll do first is, well, obviously throw new lines in it. And then what we're going to do is, I'm going to clean this carb up. I'm going to go ahead and take the bottom apart. I can't believe that, man. That's crazy. It's the only thing we've ever done to this trimmer since I've had it is just use it, and then once it started acting up, we kept adjusting the, adjusting the carb, like you should, trying to get the craziness out of it. It worked good for a minute, and then start acting up. Go to use it again, it worked good for a minute, adjust the carb, start acting up. Well, now we know why. Let's see what we got down here. Hopefully we don't rip nothing up. Diaphragm's still good, but the good thing is underneath looks good. And needle's moving like it should. So it looks like it should do for a really good cleaning. So I'll do that. Now the good thing is, I'm hoping, I don't want to waste the money ordering one if I don't need to, but I did look on Amazon, and like I've always said in the past, Hipa is the brand I always use, or try to anyway. Sometimes I come across stuff that they do not have, but let's see where to go. Here it is, 20 bucks. 20 bucks. It's a Hipa. It's a Hipa carb. This one is pretty cool because it comes with two filters, the gasket, the filter, the tool, 2 lines, 2 primers, your carburetor, and it actually, which is wild, it actually comes with this plastic piece right here. Well, I gotta take it off when I show you this plastic piece right here that the air filter sets in. It actually comes with that, and a new spark plug. So for 20 bucks, that's a really good deal. I mean, that's, you gotta figure, there we go, this piece holds your air filter, so it actually comes with that. So now I'm like half convinced just to order it. I mean, that's a really good complete kit from them guys. So I mean, that's everything you need. 20 bucks, and you can have it shipped. I can have it shipped to my door and have it tomorrow for $20, free delivery. So I mean, you can't beat that, and that's a really good deal. So anyway, we'll clean the carb up and see what we get. I guess it's half tempted just to order that kit, but so I'll deal with that, get it cleaned up, and then we're definitely going to have to get fuel lines put in it, and most definitely a fuel filter. I cannot believe, so I'm telling you honestly, this came from Lowe's, which got it from Husqvarna with no fuel filter in it, and that's what we ended up with. But now the forums I got on and was talking, back and forth with people, they was saying that these did come out from the factory with carbs that had issues. People were taking them back to the store, swapping them out. So it was just, I don't know if it was just like a bad batch that got like sent out, but I mean, that'd be like a major big bad batch. But anyhow, I'm gonna get on this, try to get it cleaned up, and get ready to do some fuel line work. If it doesn't straighten up, then I'll just go ahead and order the kit. Honestly, I'm half tempted to just order the daggone thing. But yeah, there's clear up underneath here. Alright, I'll get on it. We shall return. Alright, here we go. Here's the kit. It's the new carb kit. It comes with everything. So we got comes with your, what is that, 21 spline? It should be, it doesn't say on it, but it should be a 21 spline, adjustment tool, 2 lines, fuel filter, 2 air filters, 2 spare primers, your carburetor assembly, the base gasket, and this is the cover. I was surprised it came with that, but it's a new cover for the air filter, and new spark plug. These usually say, see if I can say, a lot of times they'll say Hipa right on them. Yeah, actually new Hipa plug. And here's your part number in case you run into this issue. If I can get it up in there. So now, apparently, I didn't know until I ordered this one. Let's see, get it out of the way. There's 2 carburetors for these, and you have to look. And the difference is on this one, you can see how on the 2 tubes, mine has an angle to it. Now they have another one that, there you go, you can see it better. How these ones turn, they're turning around. There is another, it's the same carburetor. The only thing different is the tubes stick straight out instead of having an angle to them. And so actually I didn't know that until I got online to order this one from them. But yeah, it's kind of odd, but it is what it is. So we'll start getting it installed. Just make sure you drain your fuel out. It will, if you don't, you may end up with fuel come when you get the fuel line unhooked, trickling out on you. So this is the cover. That's where your air filter sets at. It's kind of wild that they gave you a new one for it, but hey, I guess it comes in handy if you manage to lose yours somehow. But so then we got, you got your 2 bolts. Let's see if I can get this a little better angle for you guys. It's not a whole lot. It's pretty simple to get it apart. It is a, well, if I find the socket, oh, there it is. In mine's case, it's a 5/16. Get those 2 little buggers out. You don't want to lose them. And once you get them out, or loose, off, out, whatever you want to call it, just pull your handle, your choke handle, straight forward. I must have one tight. Not loose all the way anyway, not tight. Here we go. Out of the way. Out of the way, and we'll keep them somewhere to where I'm not going to lose them. God knows I'm bad at that. But I had this kit. I was supposed to have it yesterday, but for whatever reason, it was lost in transit. There we go. So you just have your lever pointing straight forward, so it comes out the tallest part. Set that aside. So you just have the 2 nuts that hold this, that's what holds it on. So now it leaves us with our 2 fuel lines. If there's fuel in the line, you might be able to, yeah, not enough. This tank's empty. I drained it out, but so there. So we got those. This one, since the lines are new, it shouldn't be too bad to get them to slide down. Let me get my other pair. So they should slide, hopefully, slide straight down. Too much of a grip on the tube. Yep, here's one. That's our return line, closest to the cap. And your main line is underneath the primer. There we go. So as you remember in the beginning part of this video, we already put the, yep, it does have a little bit of fuel in the line. Let's back your cap off, and it should, well, this one is hitting the filter, so it's not running down out of the filter anyway. It's empty, we shouldn't have a problem. So we had to put new lines on it. This is what we had on the inside of the tank. This thing's only a couple years, that's crazy. Anyway, so we put new lines on it, put a new filter on it, cleaned the carb, which didn't really help much because it didn't have a filter on it to begin with, but just slide it off and you got your throttle cable right there. Your linkage, just pop it off. And your plastic, it slides straight forward towards the tank. You just set it to the side. Take your old gasket off if you're wanting to replace it. I know some people do, some don't. But since it came with one, I'm going to go ahead and slam the new one on it. And it has a groove right here where this plastic sets, so you see the groove in your gasket. Line your 2 holes up. Slide it forward, get our lines out of the way there. There we go. Slides onto that groove, as so. Put your plastic back on. Everything's good and flat. Now when you put this back together, make sure your cable is going over the top of that plastic hump. You don't want it to go over it this way or in behind it. It's got to be right on that hump. So here's our old carb. Here's our new one. So I've always had really good luck with Hipa products. And I've bought a bunch of them. I bought a bunch of them. Enough of them, off of them, they should maybe sponsor a couple of these. It'd be nice. But you gotta have a really big channel for something like that. So okay, so we'll get our main fuel line hooked up. Well, actually, first we'll hook our throttle cable up. This one is relatively easy to hook up, so we should be able to technically slide it onto the studs. Leave us a little bit of play, and it should slide onto that nipple. There we go. Yeah, so that takes care of our main line. Here's our overflow. Perfect shot. Okay, so you can see the plastic's all the way down. Cable, make sure your cable is over top of the plastic. Everything's seated good. And this is the plastic, so you make sure your arm is forward. This one can kind of be a bear sometimes, depending on your studs, because some of these studs, like this one does, the studs will slide in and out, so sometimes they can fight with you getting the nut started if they slide in enough. Some do, some don't. There's our arm, there we go. Get our little two little nuts back on there real quick. You don't have to go crazy tight on these, just make sure everything's got a good firm solid set. I don't know the actual technical torque setting on these, but you know, you don't want to go all crazy on it, I can tell you that. Alright, just give her a little snug. Make sure she's good and firm. Alright, and we'll make sure throttle assembly is working. Everything's working like it should. The choke lever is moving. Fits perfect, just like OEM. So we'll throw get a new air filter on it. I'll go ahead and put the new cover on, just out of curiosity. It looks identical, but we'll throw it on just to see how well it fits. Yeah, dead on. These do have, I'll show you on the old one. I would personally never do it, but looks like, well, this one's not as deep. This one is pretty deep. This one is not. But they do have, if you want to use an Allen head to put in there to tighten these up, I personally would never do it. I'd be afraid of over tightening it and cracking the plastic, or you know, on the inside, outside, whatever have you. They stay, just give it, you know, crank it down pretty good with your hand, and you're ready to rock and roll. So now, since our fuel lines and everything have been replaced, all we got to do is fire it up and see how well it runs. But so I don't know, I might, I'll just go ahead and leave this plug in it instead of swapping it out, because it's still practically like new. So we'll get it outside, put some fuel in it, and see how it goes. Alright, so we're out front. I haven't, all I've done was put gas in it. Haven't tried to start it yet. So hopefully it'll prime up. Haven't even tried that yet. So a little bit of a breeze out here, so when I'm messing with it, you might hear a little bit of interference, but try to make it quick. So I think we got pumping right up. Alright. Jump on. Oh, jeez. I feel like the high side might need opened up a little bit, so see if I can get you guys down to where you can see that. Should be the high side, I believe, is the outer. If I can get you in there. See the first, this is the only second carburetor I think I've had to adjust from Hipa. They're usually dead on. Or it may just need to run, who knows. See how it goes. Hopefully I didn't block that on you. So we'll get you guys back over here and I'll show you. Now, we was having this issue before. It seemed to do okay until it got good and warm. You know, until the engine warmed up. You can see here. Can't go over too far because somebody's parked there, but that grass got some height to it. It's double, it's beside us and it's empty. But so we'll try to run it as hard as we can and see what happens there. There you go. Back and running like a champ. Hopefully you guys, I think you can see it, but that grass is, I don't know, probably close to the length of my forearm, but you can see the the yard and everything. This place has been empty, so no one's been around to cut the grass on it. But that car wasn't there. I'd trim all that down just so it didn't look so crappy out here, so I don't want to get grass all over the car. But there you go. That's a carb swap on it. The issues we ran into. We had coming straight from Lowe's. It didn't have no fuel filter in it. The lines crumbled. Tried cleaning it. You see the inside of the carb. It had all kinds of funk in it from not having a fuel filter. But now it seems to be running pretty good. Ready to go to work. I'll find out for sure when I take it out to my boss's house. Probably sometime next week. We'll really run the crap out of it then. But it's warmed up, running good. So thanks for watching, guys. I took care of it. And you know, as I was saying, Hipa, I'm not sponsored by Hipa in any way, but I've always had really good luck with their products. This one, it was just, I barely even turned the high on this one, and it took right off. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. And good luck if you're working on one.